Hello everyone, my name is Naguura, and today I'm going to do a quick video about why so many Race to World First players have been banned. Yeah, you heard it correctly. There are quite a few Race to World First players that have been suspended for exploiting a loophole with renown gain. It has been approximately 10 method players, around 7 echo players, and I think only 1 of the liquid players has been banned. So it's only 4 days. And the reason why we can actually have a post here, I mean, there's also other people that have been banned outside of the Race to World First, but I guess the most important players that are going to be relevant because their season starts now are those Race to World First players. There's been an official statement by Sorbrix in the Race to World First Discord. Sorbrix says, "Greetings. As you may have already noticed, we are in the process of issuing suspensions for accounts that took advantage of specific loopholes that allowed faster than intended progress on the Severed Threats Renown track. This is being done for everyone who took advantage, but because this is an issue that will be of particular interest to the folks here, we wanted to provide extra content." Folks here as in like the people in the Race to World First Discord. "The extra renown and rewards gained will be taken away by the time the suspensions end. This is not a step we take lightly, but game integrity demands that there be consequences beyond just rolling back gains, or we're just incentivizing competitive players to take immediate advantage of every exploit they find. Sincere thanks to those of you who helped bring these issues to our attention, and best of luck to all in the race ahead." All right, so first of all, what does this mean? So obviously the advantage that they got from the renown is going to be rolled back and they're not going to be gaining this anymore. Now, how much of an advantage was it to farm this renown? Not really a lot, right? That's why most players, most normal players, didn't really try to farm insane amounts of renown because the gain is very minimal. Now, of course, for the Race to World First, every tiny little gain matters. So they tried to push for this, and that's why they actually use these different kinds of loopholes to get renown quicker. Now, some people are saying that, or have different opinions on this. I do want to say that in the past, there have been similar loopholes and gray areas and exploits that players have been abusing and did not get banned. While other times, there have been loopholes like this that people have been used, and they did get rolled back. So sometimes similar bugs have existed that people have abused, and then they got their benefits rolled back, but did not get suspended, right? And at that point, if that is the case, like if that's what you're thinking, then that means, we should just exploit early and we should exploit often because the suspensions or the punishments from Blizzard are so low. So I just want to explain like some context here and why these Race to World First players have decided on exploiting something like this for such a minimal gain. Because a lot of people think like, why do this? Like, what's the purpose of this if you could lose the whole race if you get banned, right? And that's the explanation, right? Like in the past, Blizzard has been really inconsistent with some of these bans, and a lot of the bans have been very minor in comparison. Now, I do want to also talk about the fact if this is affecting the Race to World First a lot or not, because a lot of people think, oh my god, the Race to World First is now over, or it's going to be decided like Liquid is just going to win because they have the least amount of players banned and so on. So let me explain what kind of impact this has on the race, at least in my opinion. So obviously the season is starting, but we have a normal mode and heroic week first where there's no Mythic Plus available. So this is like the best kind of situation for the Race to World First players to be banned without it having too much of an impact on the actual race, because the race really starts when Mythic comes out, right? Which is the ID afterwards, and that's when everyone is going to be unbanned again. Now, what are they actually going to miss out on during those couple of days that they're banned during the first week? So number one, they're going to be missing out on Mythic Zero runs because Mythic Zero is now a daily lockout rather than a weekly lockout. So that means that they missed the opportunity on potentially getting some trinkets from Mythic Zero. It's not insane loot, it's just a champion track loot. So it's not going to be some insane item level that they miss out here. But of course, there might be some better trinkets for some classes or some specs that they really want. And then they might be losing out on those. But again, keep in mind that the week afterwards, Mythic Plus is going to be available, and then you can still get them in higher item level there. Then they're going to be missing out on bountiful delves. If these players have a lot of coffer keys, and they potentially would be able to do 4 bountiful delves each day, because you're limited by the amount of delves that are bountiful because it's time-based. So each day, 4 delves are bountiful, changing every day. Once you've done a bountiful delve, it's a normal delve, right? So the only time it matters to do a bountiful delve, though, is having a coffer key. So if you have 4 times 7 coffer keys the first week of the first season, then the ban would matter to you, because then you're losing out on the first couple of days where you can do the bountiful delves. But what do you get from the bountiful delves with a coffer key? Champion track gear. Again, champion track, not gonna be that big of a deal. It doesn't give you any like major important items from delves. It doesn't give you a tier set. Like losing out on this champion track gear, again, also not gonna be a big deal. The major things that you want to do in the first week is normal mode raid, heroic raid, and fill up your vault. And you can do those things still, even if you miss out on the first couple of days. Now, obviously, the Race to First players, though, they do split raids. They do a lot of split raids. And doing a lot of split raids takes a long time. So it's not necessarily going to be hard for them to clear heroic and normal mode, but it's going to take a long time for them to clear it that many times. So missing out on a lot of players, especially for Method and Echo, that miss like 10 or 7 players, for them it might actually matter at the very start, like the first couple of days, because they might have to bring in more outside players, or they have to delay the splits, or they have to do them on different days where they maybe didn't plan on. So it definitely is going to be like a little bit of a problem for them, like when it comes to organizing the normal and heroic raids. But outside of that, the players that are banned are still going to be able to do them on their characters once they're unbanned, right? And they're also still going to be able to fill up the whole vault as well, of course, with their delves and with their dungeons. Is this going to have like a super major impact on the race first? No. Is it going to have a little bit of an impact? I would say yes, especially for the players that did receive the suspensions. Their character might be slightly worse at the start of the Mythic Week. Of course, once the Mythic Week gets rolling, everyone is going to have much higher item level than what is available the first week. So it's very early, it's not going to matter anymore in the Mythic Week. But at the start of the Mythic Week, it's going to matter a little bit when some of the players have lower item level, right? Because they're missed out on some days in the normal Heroic Week. So I personally think this was a good thing that Blizzard decided to punish the players in such a way that it's not going to have an insane impact on the Race to World First. Because, of course, the Race to World First is something that we as a community like watching. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of the people from the community like following the race and like watching it. So bans like this, like really affecting the race completely and like making it super one-sided, would be a shame for us viewers. For the Race to World First players themselves, of course, it also would be a shame if it's going to have a major impact. So the fact that they banned or suspended players like this means that it has an impact, but not big enough for it to actually have a major impact on the race itself. But I do think it has enough impact for the players to maybe think twice next time that something like this occurs, right? Because bugs like this can always happen. World of Warcraft is a big game. It's almost impossible to have it completely bug-free. And we all know that these Race to First players, they do everything they can to figure out like tiny little advantages here and there. And if they come across a bug like this, then of course they're going to be thinking, okay, there's a bug. If we use this, we get an advantage, but we shouldn't because it's a bug, right? They knowingly know, they know, okay, this is an exploit. So what are they going to do? Well, if we don't use it, but the other teams are using it, we might fall behind if they don't get punished by Blizzard, right? So from past history, from like what they've known, from how Blizzard treated these kind of issues, they decided, you know what, we want to do this because we feel like we're not going to get punished so much that it would matter, right? But now Blizzard says, hey, wait a second, guys. We want exactly this situation to stop happening, right? We want to say, hey, we're going to punish you from here on out, and we want to make sure that you don't feel incentivized to use bugs like this in the future again, right? So I think personally this was a good decision by Blizzard. I don't think it has a major impact on the race. I think moving forward, the Race to the First players are definitely going to think twice about using a bug like this or not, especially when it has such a small impact, right? Yeah, that's it on the bans and what happened. Let me know what you guys think about this. Write in the comments below. Like, do you think it was a good decision by Blizzard to ban them? Do you think the players should have done something differently? How do you think it's going to impact the race? Do you think there's like some bigger impacts that I maybe didn't think about? Just let me know in the comments below, and have a great day, everybody. Bye.